Nun Gimel, holding page Nun Gimel, Maharal, Avasreya. Nun Gimel, second column, bottom paragraph. It says, everyone who goes to Gehenna, ultimately he ascends and he has a share of the world to come. But the three people who do not. One of them who was mentioned was Malpnei Chavero, the Rabbin. Person who sins, it's appropriate he should go Gehenna because he has to be purged of that impurity which came about through the Chet. What does the word Chet mean? Just Chet. Chet means deficient. So the reason why the transgression is called Chet, because it minimizes and it diminishes the person. Because when it creates that level of impurity, and that impurity comes upon the person, it denies, there's less room for Kedusha. This causes the vacuum, the void. So the person has relevance to the same, that's also, it's a void, it's a vacuum. But since the other people, when they sinned, it was only just veering off the straight path, so therefore they're olim, therefore they ascend. The nature of the sin is, you haven't forfeited, given up who you are. It's in terms of its innate wrongness. It itself, in its essence, is totally void. If a person sins, bameh means just in something, something's not everything. But if the sin encompasses everything, the totality of the person, because that's the seriousness of it, so then the person is attached to the totality of void. It touches every aspect of the person, like Eshesish. Here, why is adultery chas v'sholom? Why is that the totality of the person? It minimizes it doesn't cause an injury, but it totally destroys the totality of the person. He says, because it says by creation, it says Zochon the cave of Borom. Kodesh created the original human being, Zochon, they have male and female. Vayikru Shmom Odom, and he called them Odom. If they're called Odom, so what did you try to do? To breach the Odom. That's Odom. The whole concept of Zochon the cave of Borom, which is the union between husband and wife, he went by getting involved in that area. He did not recognize the Odom. He denied the Odom, which is the totality of the person. Heim kol Odom, umnei kach hu achote b'Odom legamri. V'yosem in aratzicho. Seitzei, what about a person kills a human being? Right? V'semal ben chaver shofech domim. Right? Shofech domim, that person has a chayv ben olam haba. He's yorid v'oler. He descends and he ascends. So he says, so why is that worse than what? Than ritzicho, shkol ritzicho mevatel gufo, ve'en mevatel neshama. Kachlo nechshe shemvatel kol odom. There, the person is not touched upon the neshama. He's a victim, because the person is victimized. Therefore, but the neshama remains pure. Avol kasha lokech ishto. When a person takes another person's wife, hu mevatel odom, because I always say, the nusach, the text by Sheva Rochas is Hashem boros sosan v'simcha chosan v'kalo. It's a bria. What's bria? Doesn't say Hashem yotzar. The text is Hashem boros chosan v'kalo. It's a new entity. I mean, what exists now did not end. There were two people, now they happen to be together. No. The union, the total is greater than the parts here. It's a different entity. So what happens when people marry? It's one entity. It's a new bria. So if the person goes and tries to breach that Adam that was created, you've destroyed it. When you take, God forbid, another person's wife. If a person doesn't have a wife, he's not an Adam. Adam is only considered a human being fully functional as Adam. That's only if you have the wife. It's Mishain lo Isha, ein lo Simcha, you have no joy, and so on and so forth. Because that, according to one opinion, a Kohen who has to, when he does Birchas Kohanim, has to be Ba'avo. He's not married, he's not qualified to do Birchas Kohanim. Because you have to be whole, you have to have that wholesomeness to have relevance to Ba'avo. V'cha bo le'ishes yishu bevatal etzem odom ba'chet hu b'chol odom u'leficha hu yorid b'gehena v'ena older. Chem mishechota b'tzelem elokim nizmal b'nei chaver v'rabim. Ki hu ha'odom k'mo she'izbar ki ha'tzelem shel odom hu ha'odom chen ha'korei shem kino. A person uses a pejorative reference to a person, which we discussed. Ki Hashem bo alo odom shnikra b'shem kol echod b'shmam yuchad lo. A name identifies, especially the Gemara in Bracha says that one's name is predestined. You know, Chaim HaKadosh says that when a parent gives a name to a child, it's the equivalent of Nevuah. Hashem puts that name in the parent's mind because the destiny lies in that in the name of the name that you give your child. The destiny. Saint Shamus, the Gemara says Rus. Why was she called Rus? That she's going to marry a grandchild who's going to be Merava Kodesh Baruch Hu Shivas Shpochos, who will say God in song and praise, which is David HaMelech. That same Shamus Boris, Al Tikra Shamus El Shemos. Ki Shem Kol Echad B'Shmam Yuchad Lo, Harei Elu Gimachatov Achet Hu Be'etzem Ha'odom Vein Zeh Hachet B'ma. Okay.
So Rabbi, we're made, we're created that we're going to sin. We're going to sin on earth.
Sin is choice.
Sin is choice, but I think created us with that. I mean, the whole thing is that it's a horror, and we're always battling that battle. So wouldn't it make more sense? I mean, how
even if you sin, you still could do tshuva.
What's that?
Even if you sin, you still could do tshuva and correct it.
Right, you do tshuva here, but why is it that you have to go to Gehenna where you're really not? That doesn't do anything to correct it.
No, but it's a purging process. It's purging. That with that impurity, Olam Haba is having a relationship with God. I mean, the Ramak, Moshe Kurdavira, the Torah says, person has a regal garment, and middle of the garment there's a splotch of dirt, and not only is it not clean, it gives off a putrid smell, a stench. Could you come before the king with such a garment? If Olam Haba is a relation with God with that representation, it's not appropriate. You can't stand before the king.
Correct.
So what's the cleansing process? It has to be taken out. That stain has to be taken out. The process to remove it, to bring it to a level of pristine purity, the person has to go to Gehenna.
But isn't that why the concept of reincarnation, that we come back to
Reincarnation? No. Reincarnation is where you're supposed to achieve a certain level of perfection, and you didn't achieve it.
So it's not about doing tshuva for your sins that you've done.
Sometimes yes, but why Kodesh Baruch Hu? Evidently, Gehenna is not enough. Evidently, Hashem wanted Hashem let him go to Gehenna. I don't know. You know, there's so many variables why a person comes back. No, like only God knows why.
But what is the whole concept of second chance? Maybe the whole concept of second chance. The Jews were always known by the
Yes, Moshe was named by Paspar. His parents gave 7 names to him.
7 names Moshe.
Tov, Tuvia, Tuvi, Avigdor. He had all kinds of names.
Those were all first names. Those were all Hebrew first names.
Oh, you mean family names? That was by the Goyim. The Goyim. Yeah. Mechane Shem Chaver is where there's a certain embarrassing aspect to it. It's pejorative. What? What thing? No, he's talking about the first name. Mechane Shem Chaveru. No, Gul is a nickname, but it's an expression of love. But if let's say Guli would mean, like in Greenwich Village, they have once a year Guli. Guli. It has in English it has a certain connotation. Guli.
People hang that way.
Yeah, but there are multiple names you could have chosen from. Okay?
Also the concept that certain names don't go with each other also.
I mean, two people could be named with the same name, and there's a different destiny in every name. A name has a capacity. It could allude to many things. A person's not well, they add a name. That's also.
People used to make up names.